Today, I want to invite you to join me for a little mindful exercise. I learned this exercise from my art friend Leanne Markle a couple of years ago, and since then, I've been applying it so regularly that I've already filled up a few sketchbooks with it. I find that it's so easy to get overwhelmed when you're opening up a new sketchbook or just with your day to day life, and sometimes it can prevent you from making art the way you want to. So, this exercise is great just if you need a little reset, if you need to recalibrate your mind and get any anxiety out of you, or you can also use it as a precursor to a sketchbooking session or just to painting, making some art in whichever way you do. All you need for this is a notebook, a sketchbook, whatever you're using, and a pen. I really like these gel pens by Karen Markers. They're so nice and flowy and easy to work with. They really allow you to have a nice long stroke without needing to stop too much. And then also when they dry, it creates a really nice shimmery effect. But honestly, depending on the paper you're using and your personal preference, you can go with whichever pen or even pencil that you like. The idea is to create repeat patterns with really simple shapes. There are a few that I use when I do this exercise, one of which is this. I'm not even sure how to describe it. It looks like a letter E on repeat in cursive. And it doesn't have to be perfect either. Sometimes it goes a bit up, other times a bit down. I try to keep it in as straight of a line as I can, but again, for the purpose of this exercise, that doesn't really matter. Grab your pen and try to fill out the entire page with this mark. And as you're doing it, really try to concentrate on each movement. Take long breaths in and out to connect with what you're doing. This exercise, even though it's really simple, really helps keep you grounded and find that connection between yourself and the page you're working on. Keep repeating the pattern until you're fully done with the page. You can keep it either horizontal or vertical, it's really up to you. Sometimes I find that I slow down a bit more when I'm doing these little loops, and then other times I go a bit faster. And it's really interesting to pick up on that and notice when things change. I find that towards the end of the page, I always get a bit impatient and tend to go a little bit faster than in the beginning. You can see here that the loops are completely imperfect. They're quite different from each other, but at the same time, together, they all create quite a satisfying look. I chose to only complete one page with this pattern, but you can carry on and do more pages with it as well if you like. The other marks I like to make are these simple strokes, and I create them in a slight shape of a leaf or just something that resembles the leaf a bit. For some reason, it just is really satisfying to my eye to see the lines start narrow, then go large and narrow down again. And what I also like about this pattern, about these strokes, is that you can really turn your quote unquote leaf any which way you like and create quite a different impression, quite a different look, depending on which way you position them. Remember again to be mindful when you're doing each of the strokes. Don't rush through it. I find that this one, especially when you start rushing, it gets really messy and it also defeats the purpose of this exercise. So take your time, really connect with each of the strokes. And also, you don't have to fill the entire page. You can just keep going and connecting each of these leaves to one another in a pattern that you like. I tend to like to leave some gaps of white space in between them to create a bit more of an illusion of a shadow, I guess, or an illusion of a tree branch or the shadows cast by a tree branch. But you can fill it up fully if you like to. Keep going until you reach the point of being happy with your page. Sometimes I leave it half empty. Other times I fill it up almost fully. It really just depends on how I'm feeling and how long I want to be working on that page. I also chose to go with a different color just for fun and because I have so many gel pens that I feel are not getting enough use. But if I am working in a sketchbook that has white paper, I tend to only go for a black pen that somehow feels more cohesive. These black pages though are really nice and thick, and they really allow you to experiment with different pens, different colors, and not be afraid of them showing through on the other side. You could also incorporate a different pattern as you're working on this page and have a little bit of a mix, but I like to keep them separate. I'm not sure why. I like to have a dedicated page or even an entire page spread sometimes to a specific pattern. I don't like mixing them too much, but you might want to experiment with that to see if it's something that you enjoy doing. Remember to pay attention to each stroke and each movement as you're placing your marks on the page. As you can see, I left quite a lot of empty space this time, just to create a bit of breathing room and to vary the pattern a little bit as well. I have to say this is one of my most favorite ones. I just feel like every time that I work on it, it looks so nice and creates such a dynamic look that's quite different. If you enjoyed this exercise, I recommend grabbing a sketchbook or a notebook and dedicating it entirely to this practice. And by the end of it, once you finish your sketchbook, I hope you'll notice a big difference in your mind and movement connection. Thank you for watching and keep creating.